an update or a reset.
Do we even know what we're doing?
No, we don't.
Oh,
We do. Have we ever known what we're doing? We've been doing this 3 years now. Has it really been 3 years?
does anyone know how to do the movie?
Ladies and gentlemen, another Thursday, another
Tree, I see you
clickbait
there. I see you there,
episode.
Tree. Let's go.
I wasn't even trying to flex.
Let's go, Tree. Let's go.
I wasn't even trying, dude. I wasn't
Let's
even trying.
go.
Joining us,
Turn
we
him
have
up.
the legendary urinating tree, just mentioned by the NFL. You have Fan of the Year nominee Tom Daniel Grassi, and you also have 5-point bids. Perna, unfortunately,
No
not here with us
qualifiers for me.
today. This is Clickbait Sports, man, oh man. Do we have a show for you lined up today? We've been rehearsing this all week long. Unfortunately, each and every one of our teams has lost this week. Who would like the honor of breaking down their game first? Tom, you're smiling. What is that smile for? Talk to me.
I just remembered why I was excited for today's show. But then the Eagles lost too, so it's like it was a Scooter went from the lowest of lows. He's like, we back up now. We're back up. I'll talk about my game. So I want to do a big shout out to Joe Barry, because back-to-back weeks we have given the opposing quarterback the NFC Player of the Week. First, it was Tommy DeVito, who went on down. And then on top of that, you have Baker Mayfield come in. Perfect passer rating, just lighting it up at Lambeau. And things are fine. Things are totally fine. They're good. They're great. They're so good.
So for those of you,
I'm not mad, by the way.
for those who don't know, the Buccaneers were playing the Packers. They actually won by 2 touchdowns.
Almost
Tom,
3.
what went wrong in this game? For those of us who didn't get a chance to watch, why did y'all get bodied by Baker Mayfield? Perfect passer rating, first time ever in Lambeau.
Yeah, so the problem is that Baker, and like there's no disrespect to Baker, because Baker played a really good game. It's just, Jesus, everyone was wide open. Like, they just played this soft zone crap. They were trying not to get Mike Evans to have a big play. He still wound up scoring. And just the defense could not do anything to stop the Buccaneers. Like, they just walked down the field at will. And Jordan Love, who had a rough game against the Giants and then kind of came on again at the in the fourth quarter, he had a really good game. Like, so Jordan Love missed a couple throws, but overall had a really good game. So it's just now falling solely on the defense, and Joe Barry is a guy that very few Packers fans were happy when they hired. Of course, was on that team for the 0-16 Detroit Lions. It was there when Washington was really bad. So, yeah, it's just it's bad. Now, the Packers could still make the playoffs. They went out. They have like a 93% chance of making it.
Do you think this Packers team has it in them to make the playoffs this season?
2 weeks ago, you asked me after we beat the Chiefs, and before that we beat the Lions. I'm like, hell yeah, we're going to win out. Now, I have no idea. Like, I think they'll beat the Panthers. Then they have the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, and then they have the Bears. So it is very winnable. I think it would be great for them to go, not only because it's my team, but it's also great experience for a very young team. We've been rebuilding. This is like the development, evaluation year. So if they're able to go to the postseason, regardless even if they get bounced in the first round, like, I think that's really good experience. So why not?
What will you do if you guys lose to the worst team in the NFL, the Panthers?
But see, here's the thing. I'd be really upset, of course, because then it's like really bad. But then there's no way that Joe Barry doesn't get fired. So it'd basically be like a Brandon Staley Chargers situation. So
A win-win.
Yeah, exactly.
A pyrrhic victory.
Well, if you have to consider with the Panthers too, they Falcons lost to them last week. Arthur Smith's still their head coach. So
Yep.
That's fair. The Packers lost. The Cowboys also lost. In dramatic fashion, we went up to Buffalo and got destroyed. Did you guys happen to watch this game? What are your thoughts?
I watched every minute. It was so
get
good.
into what happened in Buffalo.
I'm
Instant
gonna
thoughts.
I'm going to be quite frank. You got mauled in the trenches. You couldn't stop the Bills' running game. James Cook just went ham on you, and your offense couldn't do anything against it, and completely battered and injured Bills' defense that looked otherworldly again. So, quite frankly, I don't know what to think of the Cowboys because there's situations where you beat up on really bad teams and then you go up against the creme de la creme and then just get smacked for the most part. So I don't know how to really, like, as I said, it's just tough to really understand them right now because like this game showed a lot of flaws in the Cowboys situation, especially if they have to go on the road.
I agree in some aspects. 5 instant reaction.
I think you guys spent, you emptied the clip against the Eagles, right? Like you came as hard as you could in that game and you had nothing left in the tank for the Bills, a team that's on the up now. You never know in the NFL what happens. A team will get a player back or everyone will move up a slot in the depth chart or someone who was dealing with a nagging injury is suddenly better or just things just add up incorrectly. But it was very refreshing to see your team get their asses kicked. That was very nice.
That is fair. Tom, any assessment of what you saw on the Cowboys? Are the Cowboys fraudulent? Talk to me, TDG.
I don't know if they're necessarily fraudulent, but I think like they're a team that benefits massively from playing at home indoors. Like I'm really curious to see how they're going to play against the Dolphins. Both teams have had those narratives against them about not being able to compete against good teams. And now like they're going on the road in Miami. Like that's going to be a really interesting test for both of them. I think the Cowboys will be fine. It's just I would have felt a lot more comfortable about them if they had secured home field advantage, which I don't see anybody stopping the 49ers. We'll see about the Ravens this week, but yeah, the Cowboys got some issues, but every other team in the NFC besides the 49ers right now have some glaring issues. So once they get to the dance, if anyone can knock off the 49ers, like it's anybody's game.
The thing, too, with the Cowboys and the Dolphins are wrecked on the injury front. Defense is hurting big time for them. Offense, no Tyreek Hill. He might be out for a good bit as well. So, and they're also down 4/5 of their offensive line. So this is pretty much a game where the Cowboys should win relatively easily, even if they're going to Miami.
I think we will win the game against Miami. But let's go back to this Bills game real quick. Wow, that was not pretty at all. I will say one thing, though. Jonathan Hankins, our defensive tackle, was out. If you look at the last time Jonathan Hankins was out, we got gashed just like this in the run game. I think the running back had over 200 yards again. We may or may not be ready for the Dolphins game. If he does not play, expect the other team to get 200 rushing yards. A-Chan will be running up the middle. It'll be bad. Yeah, Jonathan Hankins is sort of our linchpin for that defense, it seems. We have a lot of undersized linebackers. We have a lot of linebackers who are like hybrid safety players. And if you look at what happened in the Bills game, they were the first team to ever try to exploit this, and exploit this they did. Josh Allen only passed the ball 15 times. It was 7 out of 15 passing. It's not like he beat us. It was literally the run game. We could not stop the run game. And hopefully that is not the case going forward against the Dolphins. But play calling, very suspect. I don't know what Mike McCarthy was doing on offense. It seemed like there was a reversion of some sorts. And it also seemed like we just made a myriad of stupid calls. 3 personal fouls literally ended up being 3 touchdowns for the Bills. So it just wasn't our day. We ran into the punter on a play. They scored a touchdown. Josh Allen flops. They get a call. They get a touchdown. It was not our day. But like you guys have already alluded to, the Eagles did lose, allowing us to remain in first place in the NFC East. And now neither us nor the Eagles control our destiny. It actually falls to a weird tiebreak right now that the Eagles do hold the lead of, but we'll see going forward.
Yes. I just want to say that game, the Eagles losing that game was shocking, to say the least. They really had a golden opportunity to put it away, and then they gave up the touchdown to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and it was like, wow. Like,
not just
makes
that
you,
too.
And it's Drew Lock. Okay, it's not like it was
so happy for that man.
Yes.
And
It's not like it was a stud team, you know. They just go out and lay an egg.
I'm just
against
happy for the interview afterwards. Did you guys catch that interview? That was like a very real interview where
Yes.
he was basically alluding to the fact, you know, I'm just
Daquan
wondering if I
Sims.
still got it. It was very humanizing interview. He hadn't played in a while, and he was talking about how he was wondering if he still had it at all. And I'm wondering if Tommy DeVito still has it for the New York Giants after this past game. 5, take us through what happened during this
So
Giants Saints.
it was a pretty brutal game, but I'm not really blaming DeVito because I found a team picture of the offensive line, and this is what the New York Giants offensive line currently looks at. Like, this is the unit that they put out on Sunday, and it was horrible. He got sacked, I think, 1,000 times, literally. He got flashbacks of Derek Carr or David Carr's rookie year. And like every time he dropped back, he was getting hit. He's clearly competent when he had. I mean, every NFL quarterback is competent when they have time outside of, say, Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf. But it was brutal. We couldn't run the ball, couldn't pass the ball. We lost our Randy Bullock tore his leg off during the kickoff. So we had Riley Dixon, Jamie Gillen. Sorry, Riley Dixon. We had the punter kicking field goals, so that part of the game was pretty much eliminated. Which, I mean, you can't really blame a loss on a kicker, but it was brutal. The Saints suck. Okay, let's be clear about that. And the Giants just suck more. So it's going to be a brutal end of the season. We're going to get a mid-round pick no matter what we do. We could lose out, and it's still not going to matter. We're going to not get who we need. And so it'll be another year of Daniel Jones, and he'll probably get hurt by week 4, and it'll be Tommy DeVito season all over again next year. Someone wake me up from this nightmare.
This begs the question, though. Can you accurately assess a quarterback when your O-line is this garbage?
No, look at Bryce Young. I don't even know whether, like, I've said that Bryce Young has looked lost this year, but anyone would look lost when there's 8 guys around you every time you drop back. So,
hey, if Bryce Young has a great week this week, you know why. You know why.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he looked good on that final drive, even though he was throwing ducks because he's playing the Falcons.
It's really hard. You know when some guys just don't have it, like you just look at someone's pocket presence and they're like someone like Daniel Jones, right? Like that makes horrible decisions when they're under pressure. But then how do you evaluate someone when they're getting sacked 9 times to 10 times a game? That's
so currently, if the season ended right now, you would have the 8th pick. Do you think they would use the 8th pick on a quarterback? A potential if Jaden Daniels, for example, were there. Are they pulling the trigger?
I don't think so. I think that they would just stick with what they have. You can't, if you're not going to get a Caleb Williams or a Drake May or who won the Heisman? What's
Jaden Daniels?
Jaden Daniels. Yeah. And you don't want to settle for Bo Nix. He's just Daniel Jones 3.0. Like, he's worse in many ways. So yeah, I would think that they would get, maybe another offensive lineman, a center or somebody that can actually play. They could maybe cut ties with Glowinski and just draft a center.
You drafted brutal. Schmitz last year, so I don't think you're drafting a center. You're probably going to end up drafting guard.
Yeah, something like that. But there's problems in the trenches. We have no depth. We trade our best defensive tackle. Like, we might start there again.
You got a 2nd round pick again, dude. So,
yeah,
I mean, you did all right for Leonard Williams.
Yeah, and the corners aren't that great, so it's going to be a tough road to hoe. The problem is no one's healthy, and it's really hard to evaluate this team.
Well, listen, Cowboys fans will be rooting for you guys. Believe in yourselves. You've got this against the Eagles. We believe. One of those games. Pull through.
We will not be winning either of those.
We believe in you. But do we believe in the Steelers is the question going to urinating tree now. Steelers lose to the Colts 30-10. Take us through this game. Update us on the injury situation. What is the atmosphere for a Steelers fan looking like right now?
Can we not talk about that, please? I truly appreciate it. The team's collapsing again. They've lost 4 or 5. The Colts just pretty much had their way. They had a 13-0 advantage. They give up 30 straight. And to be quite honest, the whole team's I feel like it's giving up. And it's like they got gashed in the trenches just like you did against the Cowboys, but it wasn't by James Cook. It was by Trey Sermon and Tyler Goodson. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, he sucks. Like he is, I thought he'd be a quality backup, but dear God, he's bad. Like he is a significant downgrade over Kenny Pickett. And now we are at the point where we are starting Mason Rudolph, the reindeer in headlights. And he is a statue in the pocket. We are playing Cincinnati on Saturday, which fortunately I will not be streaming because I'm going to a Christmas party. Thank the Lord.
Nice.
But I would. I mean, I don't want to. But I mean, the stream, not the Christmas party. But I mean, at the same time, it's dread here. I mean, you pretty much pissed away a playoff spot when you lose to 2 straight 2-win teams, the Colts, a DTR-led Cleveland Browns squad, and you look bad. And now they're finally seeing the flaws of the organization for what it is. Like George Pickens is pretty much running himself out of town. And I thought Chase Claypool had problems. Good God. He's saying like it was a business decision why he couldn't block. It's like, then you're getting Jalen Ward not blocked. Like, so, I mean, like that's going to get you traded for a 5th-round pick. Like he's getting run out of town this year. Dude, and it's frustrating because he has so much talent, but he's just like, dear God. Like we all knew he was like a kind of a cancer when he came in to the league. That was always his knock. That's why he dropped. It's even worse than that, especially if you're talking about how you don't want to get injured while blocking. You're coming from a team that had Hines Ward just pretty much crack blocking everyone in sight to get Jerome Bettis, Willie Parker, and Rashad Mendenhall an extra 3, 4, 5 yards.
Oh,
like, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's not even the standard. Like you're not even living up to the
I mean,
standard.
honestly,
you're
the standard has been mediocrity, but at the same time, like as I said, like I feel like the skill position players are mutinying right now. And it's just
is there anything that can happen that will turn it around in Pittsburgh? If so, what?
I mean, honestly, this year might be lost. I don't know if they win another game right now because, I mean, you don't know when Pickett's coming back. Pickett was pretty much the only thing carrying this team. I know a lot of people said it was crap, but Pickett wasn't throwing most of those interceptions against New England and Cincinnati, even Arizona for the most part. Like, I think they win 2 out of 3 of those games if you have Pickett in there because he's clutch. He doesn't turn the ball over. It would have been ugly games, but at the same time, that's Pickett. And the thing too, like, your defense, you're out of safeties. Trenton Thompson's dealing with injury. Monte KZ decided to become Mike Mitchell. He's suspended for the year. Minka's out as well. So you're down to 1 safety, Miles Kilbrew, who's more of a special teams guy. You also have maybe Shendon Sullivan and a couple guys from the practice squad. And you're out of inside linebackers. Landon Roberts is doing his best, but most of those are like mid-tier free agents. Holcomb's out for the year. Alexander's out for the year. You're playing Blake Martinez and Miles Jack. And Hayward's out with concussion protocol. So
let's keep it on DeMonte KZ, actually. Did you guys see this hit that he was suspended for the remainder of the season? I want to get your guys' opinion. Was this hit dirty? And what is a defensive player supposed to do in a situation like this? They're saying a lot of people think this hit was clean and should not have been suspended at all. Other people are saying he has a history. This is, I believe, his 7th or 8th late hit this season, and that contributed to it. What are your guys' thoughts on this suspension?
I think the main thing, too, it's a combination. I think, like, it was a hospital pass, but at the same time, the dude was deliberately leaning his head down. That was a blatant.
Did you see what Tom Brady had to say about this?
Well, the problem is Tom Brady wasn't throwing hospital passes for the most part. I think, like, it's a combination effort, and they're going to penalize that every time. They're trying to take that out of the game.
If you look at the hit, though, he did lower. He hit him with the shoulder. He did not hit him with his helmet. Tom, what were you going to say?
No, I mean, like, listen, I don't think it's a good throw from Minshew, and that goes back to, like, the Tom Brady point he went viral for, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when he kind of went on about the league and, like, how it's your job as an offensive player to protect yourself. But, dude, like, there's no way Michael Pittman's protecting himself. Like, he's in full dive, and it's just, like, you got to make like, he's not going anywhere. Even if he winds up catching that ball, he ain't going anywhere. So I think it's just unnecessary, and, like, that decision to make that hit, you know, you're gonna get them for you every time.
That's the thing is there's no ambiguity here though. there's a debate, but the rule clearly says defenseless receiver. Okay, and in that situation, Pittman is absolutely defenseless. What can he do? He can't brace himself for impact. He can't he can't even turn. He's in the air.
Just playing devil's advocate. What are you as a defender supposed to do? Let him catch the ball?
Look, you can't hit him directly in the face. You could
hit him with the shoulder pad.
Well, that's the intent of the rule, right? It doesn't matter how clean your hit is. He is defenseless. You can't just tee him up.
Anytime
you're going to have to go to the side, or you're going to have to strip the ball.
Anytime a receiver dives for the ball, you can't touch him. Is that what you're saying? Just let him dive for it.
No, you can touch him, but you can't hit him in the head.
So
that's what it's gonna be, right? That's the argument. It's like you could dive with him, you could have a grand old time. It's just like, as long as you don't hit him in the head while the guy is diving, because could cause catastrophic injury. I mean, I get it. There's been some other hits this year where guys look at the Broncos, right? Guys have been suspended on the Broncos, but dude, there's a point where it's like, all right, if he's diving forward and you're making the conscious decision to hit him in the head, then that'd be the consequences. It is.
I think the people who are saying the clean hit it's more like it's a split decision. It's not like he's running and doing this intentionally. In slow-mo, the hit looks vicious, but in real time, when you're on defense, when you're making these types of plays, it's way different. So it is very hard to play defense in the NFL this year. But what I would like to know from you guys, we're going to keep it on Steelers. Former Steeler Rashard Mendenhall tweeted about an all-white.
Here's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Oh no, I fumbled. That's Rashard Mendenhall. That's not even the Super Bowl. That's been his entire career. It was in practice where he had to carry a football. If somebody smacked that out of his hands, he had to pay $100. That was not just a Super Bowl thing.
Can we make it through? Stop trying to deflect, Tree. We're trying to make it through this segment without getting canceled.
For those unaware, Rashard Mendenhall basically tweeted something to the fact where he's tired of all these analysts. Let's do an all-white team versus all-black team and see who wins. And so as a response to this, a lot of people have begun making their mock all-white versus mock all-black teams. Yes, 5. What are you going to say about this?
I just want to say, the all-Asian team, our cupboard's pretty bare. We got, if you just want to talk pure Asians that have ever played football, we have Younghoe Koo and Dat Nguyen.
22. Can you name 11 Asian NFL players?
That depends. Are you giving me the Samoans? Are you giving me Hawaiians? Are you giving me all of the Pacific Islands?
Because then that's a whole different category.
I'm just saying, if you would let me lump in with them, we'll have a roster. Okay. But we just don't, as far as traditional Asian, Thailand, Korea, Japan, China, there's how many billions of people in China? Ain't none of them play in the NFL. Okay. You're statistically more likely to be Chinese than you are to play. It's just, we're horribly underrepresented in the NFL, and I guess there's nothing I can really do about it.
You can have Hines Ward.
I think Hines Ward would decline. He's like, all right. Do we get Kyler Murray? He's half Korean. So
he can be starting.
Hines Ward. We get Kyler Murray. We get Younghoe Koo.
What I saw pitched online is for the mixed NFL athletes, that would go to a draft, basically. So,
okay, yes,
that's how they would distribute. But
that's smart.
Long story short, I'm just saying there are no white cornerbacks in the league who can cover Tyreek Hill.
None. There's nobody in the league that can.
Quarterbacks who can cover Tyreek Hill. It's gonna be very difficult for that all-white team.
Playing hard zone. They're playing just hard zone.
It's gonna be.
Scooter, we actually talked about this earlier. How are you going to address the fact that you have no punters or no kickers?
That's what I was saying. The all-black team will not be kicking or punting for the duration of this game.
They're not going to need to, right? That was for me.
Get lit.
James,
get lit.
Get
Thank
lit.
Mhm.
Is there any more NFL news? Who did the Broncos play this past season? Let's invoke.
They played the Lions, got their ass
They
kicked
got
on
Yes.
Saturday.
Launched.
They did.
Lunch.
So what? For those who watched this game, since Perna is not here, we need someone to speak on his behalf. TDG, what did you see
Yeah, I
from
got
this game?
I mean, Perna was not happy about the refs for a bit. That was definitely part of it.
Yeah,
But
it did
it was
not matter.
more, I think, of just
Yeah.
what the Lions were doing. Like
Yeah.
their defense was looking so much better, but their offense like wasn't kind of what it had been for the past couple of weeks. And against a good Broncos defense that has been, if anything, consistent ever since the whole 70-point debacle. Yeah, this was a really big win for the Lions. Like now they're going to be playing on Sunday against the Vikings. They win the NFC North for the first time ever, which is pretty insane. So yeah, I think the Broncos kind of just got caught.
Wait a minute.
Between the Lions. What's up?
The Lions have never won the
Nope.
NFC.
The last time they won, it was the Central.
It was, yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh
Alright.
my
I also saw that they have one of the longest playoff loss streaks. So they have not won a playoff game longer
It's been
than
a
any
while.
other franchise. So
Been a while.
lot of firsts for the Lions happening. Jahmyr Gibbs was hooping in that Lions game.
Laporta is a monster.
What are you guys thinking about this emphasis on offensive offsides? We've seen it. We saw it in that Broncos game, and we've seen it happen to the Eagles a couple times as well. What do you think of this emphasis on them? Kadarius Toney, of course, revolutionizing the offensive offsides. Listen, Kristen, relax.
Yes. Kirsten.
Only
Get it
one
right.
playoff game.
Yeah,
ever.
versus the Cow- 91.
Relax.
The thing is, the NFL, their officiating crew, they got to get it right. And if you're going to just line up offsides, like that's a violation. You can't just let it slide. It's not the NBA where you can just let someone take 5 steps and then dunk, right? It's you're supposed to enforce the rules, and then they go out and like let pass interference and all types of other things happen. But that's an easy one for them to spot, right? If someone's lined up offsides, you should be. There's a line judge and what's the guys? The down judge and the line judge. They're both looking at the line, so do their job. Do the job. Oh, Nick wants to see the giant shoe.
The giant
yeah.
shoe, huh?
You got art.
Yeah, dude, my kid did.
There's art.
Ooh. Oh, it's art. Is it like the Simpsons shoe where you have to be kicked in the butt with it?
This is the shoe that all of our teams got their asses kicked with. Bam! Just,
fair.
oh,
That's fair.
just. Yeah, my kid made this. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do with it. I have a tiny 800 square foot apartment. Now I have to like hang this from the ceiling or something.
Is there any more relevant NFL news that I'm just not remembering? So
Well, the Eagles are complaining about the Seahawks game. Nick Sirianni came out and said that he was baiting for pass interference on that final fourth quarter throw on 1st and 10. And then A.J. Brown's now saying they need to ban Monday Night Football because it's about player arrest, which is crazy because, you should ban Thursday Night Football, not Monday.
Yeah.
listen, we can talk about the Eagles all you guys want if you want to bring this up. That team is falling apart. I don't know if you guys saw what Jalen Hurts had to say either at the conclusion of that loss, where he basically said that his teammates weren't committed. Did you guys happen to catch that?
I did.
A little bit, yes.
Ooh,
So-
that's a little passive aggressive right there.
And then
What do you think?
I mean, if you're talking about commitment, why are you chucking arm punts on 1st and 10 going down the field in Seahawks territory?
Yeah, and they clarified, right, and Nick Sirianni confirmed that they were trying to draw defensive pass
Yeah,
interference.
both times I'm like,
I get it, but
It's
dude,
bait.
you're 20 yards away from potentially hitting a field goal,
and you had 2 timeouts on that final play too.
Yeah, they had time too, so I don't.
The memes have been tremendous.
It just seemed like it was not good. It was not good.
Don't know what they're doing offensively in Philly. I hope they continue their ways, though, against the Giants this week.
You know what needs to happen? Matt Patricia needs to call the plays on offense.
He should be a renaissance man and just do both on. He should just.
I'm
cover
calling
both ends of the
both
ball.
formations.
I would love that because
Yes.
he had no effect His promotion on defense had no effect whatsoever. They lost.
So-
None.
Like an
None, and
actual
they blew it.
question, like of course we'll get some biased answers too, but right now, do you think there's a team in the NFC that's going to stop the 49ers from getting to the Super Bowl?
That's a great segue. That's a great question. I don't think so, but when we get through this segment, can we talk about the Ravens and the Niners next Monday?
I cannot wait.
Yes.
Christmas. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
go. Super Bowl preview. Like, if the Ravens win, I will feel a little better. Like, okay, at least like somebody can do it because it's been a while. It's been a while. So, I don't know, man. Like the NFC, I get it. It's any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. But the 49ers just look like they're in a league of their own right now. Like the Cardinals kept it close for a little bit, and they're like, haha, just kidding. Like every other team we're talking about, like, oh, this person could be MVP. There's 2 potential MVPs on the same team. Like that's what's going on with the 49ers right now. And like I think the Cowboys, if they catch them on the right day, maybe. The Eagles, I don't know right now. They're just looking bad these past 3 games. But then the 49ers went through the similar stretch, though the 49ers were injured. Lions, maybe potential. Like Rams, we'll see how they play week 18. Like that could potentially get the Rams into the postseason. It's going to be nuts. But right now, at least in the NFC, it looks like the 49ers are unstoppable.
I could see the Lions giving the 49ers fits, like making it one of those good, aggressive, like, if the Lions somehow make it to the NFC Championship game, like, that's the best game typically of the year when the teams just come out and they play like they're in college. You know what I mean? Like they hit hard, they finish tackles. Like I could see the Lions hanging in there, but again, they would lose in some Lions fashion where it's just absolutely devastating and heartbreaking. That's the way that it goes down.
I really would like to see what the Cowboys would look like with this new Mike McCarthy offense. Because if you remember when we played the last time, we were still on the old school Mike McCarthy offense. So yes, we got bodied that game, but because of that, we literally made all these changes offensively. We added motion. We started going to Jalen Tolbert a little bit more. And so I would like to see that. I think the Cowboys can get it done. I think if it's going to be any NFC team, it would be the Cowboys. Not based off last week's performance, though, because that looked like the old offense. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
My serious question, though, I mean, since Philly does control their own destiny in the NFC East,
Philly does not control their own
They
destiny.
actually do because strength of schedule.
It would fall to strength of schedule, but
If you both win, the Eagles would take advantage. They would win.
There's still a way where we could end up winning with strength of schedule.
Coin flip?
It's not like decided as of yet, but they do have the strength of schedule right now. If they lose to the Giants, though, we could lose and then still win this.
I am just waiting for the day. I'm just praying and hoping for the day that a playoff berth is decided by a coin flip.
Very weird.
Like a coin, like it literally, like in freaking
If it's
Friday
the
Night
Bills
Lights.
again, oh my God. I don't
they're
think
going to be
there'll ever
furious.
another flipping of a coin again.
I mean, they will burn everything to the ground.
Very weird.
The Bills do look like they are coming on strong, and what's crazy is they might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, might be too little too late.
I mean,
for me,
they're
they
still
look like
tied.
the second best team in the AFC.
There's so much, parity in the league, but like this is the playoff system where, basically 3 extra slots come in and there's going to be a lot of vying for these spots. I love it. I like the drama. It makes the regular season last a little bit longer. And then, of course, the Tank Bowl, which is always exciting.
We got a couple Tank Bowls this week. Washington
super
Jets and
nice.
Bears Cardinals.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You know what else makes the season last a little bit longer? Adding a whole nother week to the season.
Yes.
Nah,
Can we get an
I don't agree
18th
with
week
that.
just for our bank accounts? Because that would add
Honestly,
another week of
they
content.
didn't need. They need to add another team, and they didn't need to add another week. But I get why they're doing it, but they didn't. But
And with adding another week, we get another Thursday night football game this week. Saints versus Rams.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Go ahead.
Can we do one thing before we
I
preview?
got
Can we
Texans or
talk about
Colts.
who is the MVP in the NFL? Who is?
CMC.
Is it like there's 3 players honestly on the 49ers that could be the MVP.
Let me
give it to
ask you
Brock Purdy.
ask
You
you something.
can what?
The MVP is a regular season award.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
so postseason is not taken into
Oh,
account.
here comes the lobbying. Okay.
If Rain Dakota Prescott,
Oh,
hear me out,
Jesus
hear me out,
Christ.
hear me out.
No.
If Rain Dakota Prescott has 3 5-touchdown 400-yard games,
You know what? Sure, I'll give that to him.
Yeah,
If he
yeah. I
has
will get.
the-
Yeah, if he balls out,
is
if
he going
loses-
back? And Purdy and CMC, let's say the 49ers lose the next 3 games. What are we saying now? Is Dak back in the conversation now?
The 49ers aren't losing the next 3 games.
If he scores
they have the
5
Commanders
touchdowns,
as one of those
400
games, dude.
yards
5,
every
400,
single game,
3
then
games.
yes,
5
then
tutties,
he
yeah.
could be back in the conversation.
Okay.
If you throw 5 tutties in 3 consecutive games, that's an
He's back.
absurd stretch.
Okay.
That's you'd have to give him the MVP.
I'm just saying.
Now, I'm
See if
just
it's
saying,
possible.
if he goes out and does like 303 each time, you would have to give him credit.
303. What are we saying, Tom? 303.
Well, no,
Man.
because then it depends on what Purdy and CMC are doing. Because the way that I was looking at it, it was like CMC, Tyreek Hill, right, Purdy, and then Prescott. That's like how it's been like these past couple of weeks. Prescott had a down game. CMC and Purdy had a really good game. Tyreek Hill is injured. So right now, because I think it literally is going to come down to the wire right now, I think personally, while Purdy is very, very good, not taking that away from him, I think CMC consistently has been the best player like week after week. He had that insane streak. He lost it on like one of them. Like he has just been phenomenal. He's a receiver. He's a running back. Hell, the guy can throw. Like for me, maybe CMC.
I just want to lobby for one. There's a third player on the 49ers who I think should be considered. That is Trent Williams. The dude is a beast. When he was out, they were crap, and he comes back in, and they completely reset. And the guy is a Hall of Famer. I cannot believe that the Commanders just let him go for nothing, basically. You know, like they ran him out of town, and he's like, he's so good. He is so athletic and good. Like he's the most underrated, probably, player in the league, if you ask me. And he should be given some shine. He's not the MVP because it's hard to give it to one guy when you see what CMC and Purdy statistically, honestly, is like the best in everything. It's and with the least amount of attempts. It's crazy.
And the thing is, CMC's issue, especially in Carolina, was health and injury proneness. He has not had those issues in San Francisco.
I think the thing that disqualifies Purdy, though, is that when you look at what he's doing and you look at the games where he did not have his weapons, this would be the chance to prove that you are the MVP. You are the reason why your team is winning. But when you take away his weapons, when Debo's injured for a couple games and CMC's out for a couple games, now he looks more normal. Now
here's my defense, though.
Come back.
Cleveland's defense is really good.
And they were healthy.
Vikings with Brian Flores' zero blitz, it's been giving people fits all game. And the Bengals, once again, they had Joe Burrow, and their defense gets a really good pass rush, especially without Trent Williams. I mean, of course, any quarterback's going to struggle.
My only argument was just that was your time to prove you're the MVP. You could have proven it right there. We wouldn't even be talking about this. It would have been far and away Brock Purdy had he have performed well without the weapons that everyone's saying he needs to perform well.
Yeah, but how did Dak look against the Niners with his full complement of weapons?
We did not have our full complement of weapons.
Okay. Who was missing in that game? Dang, James, you're trying to kill me over here.
Mike McCarthy's new offense.
James, let's go.
Let's go, James. Okay.
Well,
CD Lamb was healthy, right, for that game?
Yeah, but that was back when we were running this basic vanilla.
Okay.
Don't let Dak throw the
but you
ball.
had all your chess pieces there, right? Like you had all the guys. You just didn't know how to chess.
Okay, yes.
Mhm.
But if you look at the
Okay.
first 5
How did
games,
Dak look though? How many points were scored?
Dak did not start looking like an MVP until after we
isn't it-
changed the offense.
Most valuable player.
And my
Like,
argument, CMC has been like this. the
He's
entire
been
season.
good the whole
He's just
time. He's been
dude, like
consistent. Yeah.
I can't get over like that's I know I say it a lot. That streak, I really feel like it was taken for granted. Like it was just like oh yep, you got another touchdown. Oh yep, okay, I got another. Like that is so incredibly difficult to do, to pick up from where you were last season, and it's almost a given that you're gonna score a touchdown every week.
Yeah.
You don't have many of those kinds of players anymore in the NFL, and I think
And he's
CMC is doing
back.
it at a level which is crazy.
And he's on his second contract, which is really rare. Like as a
Yep.
27-year-old back, you don't see guys do it in their second contract. That actually, all the other running backs should kiss Christian McCaffrey, because he's making it possible for GMs to believe that they can give a back a second contract.
And not just that, Jonathan Taylor also got that too from Indianapolis. Even if it's short term, I mean, the dude's getting paid.
Yeah. So
Tyron Smith was out on the 49ers game, and
you're really going back.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot more than that, dude. I mean, there was different tiers of team there, man.
Yeah, but still, literally, Hall of Fame left tackles out.
So real quick, little breaking news. So the Bills-Chargers game this Saturday is like that Peacock exclusive game.
It is.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
my ad for it.
Right.
Hey, I'm running at if you might see my ad on Peacock if you don't have the
Well,
subscription-less
we
version.
Who
won't
has
see
Peacock?
any ads in the fourth quarter. They're not showing any commercials. So on
Wow.
the fourth quarter, that's pretty dope. I've wanted to see the NFL because it's been really bad this year. As someone
Yeah.
who streamed every primetime game, it's been rough.
What are they going to do during the breaks? Just
Well, probably
have ads for Peacock programming, like
They
Well, I
probably
don't-
will just do what the NBA does. You'll just see like the field, and then they'll bring it back
They're just
on.
like switch because they do that every now and then. Like they don't always go to a commercial break, especially when you get like to the fourth quarter or something when they're changing. Who has the
I
best-
wish they would replace sideline interviews with
Should.
coaches with sideline interviews with very drunk fans, and just have someone with a delay on the delay, and it would just be some very angry or very happy fans expressing themselves. You might get a couple flashings.
Being
is what I would
around young
expect.
people and doing interviews, I would have to say that is a terrible idea.
Mhm.
Definitely
Yeah, no, I get it. You have to respect my terribleness here.
do not do
Respect
that.
my data.
But let's get to
All
this Thursday night football game, Rams versus Saints, not on Peacock. What are we thinking for this game? There are playoff implications for both teams for this
Oh,
game.
I
This is
know.
a very,
very
important
huge.
game.
Very huge.
Who
I mean,
are we saying takes this game? It's
kids,
in
It's
LA.
it's actually compelling.
and
It's
not
gonna be a
just
horrible
think of the
game.
history between these two teams, especially
Yeah.
a certain NFC Championship game about 5 years ago.
Yeah. Is Nickel Roby Coleman gonna, have the ceremonial game ball or whatever? The captain, is he gonna be out there when
No, the ceremonial
coin flip.
No, they're gonna do a forward pass, and then he'll deck the wide receiver that has to catch it,
I
and they'll call it a tip ball.
I recently went back and watched that clip because there was like a thread on Twitter where they were like, "What is the worst non-call that's ever happened?"
Mhm.
I believe it's that. It's got to be that.
It's
It
gotta
literally
be that,
has
right?
to be that. It
NFC
was
Championship game, like it's not just like it was a regular season. Like the Fail Mary's bad, but it's a regular season game.
And
right?
replacement refs.
This is who goes to the Super Bowl, and it's blatant.
I
Yes.
couldn't believe
It's
it.
pretty terrible.
Like,
Yeah,
if
and the
you go
Saints
watch
lost
the
by
game,
3 points. Yeah.
oh my god,
Another terrible one was when the Giants, when Trey Junkin had a bad snap, and then the punter threw it, and then the ineligible receiver that was downfield got literally hauled down, and they didn't call anything. That was a terrible no call too.
Yeah.
I guess the Giants had already kind of lost that game, so it was
They
just
blew a
fitting.
big
But
lead.
yeah, but that was a bad non-call.
Yeah.
It's okay. We got y'all back. The 49ers.
But I do have the Rams winning this one. They're on a tear right now. Like I need the Rams to lose. Like that would be very hell. I need the Saints to lose too. But the Rams losing would be better. They are playing the 49ers the last week, and that might determine if they get into the postseason or not. But they found a run game, right, which is really good. Matthew Stafford's looking good. The receivers, of course, are really good. And they're in that same boat where everyone thought they were going to be rebuilding, evaluation year, but they could not only make the postseason, but they also got their first round pick next year, finally. It's been forever. So,
and they wouldn't have it
watch
if
out,
Carolina managed to trade them Brian Burns. So Carolina, congratulations.
what
Watch
do you guys
out,
think of
Rams.
the larger issue here where people say don't go all in because then you'll be rebuilding for years to come. Well, look at the LA Rams. They went all in. Now they're about to make the playoffs again. What do you guys think about that sentiment?
There are
Ring.
so many owners that
Ring.
would love to go all in and get that ring. Arthur Blank might die as the owner of the Falcons. I'm being very like one of the greatest owners ever. Might not see a championship, so I think it's worth it just to have that ring, just to flex it. Who cares? You think? Go ahead.
No, I didn't want to interrupt. Again. Sorry.
No, have you seen that video? I saw it recently. It's like you'll never look at the NFL draft the same. And it's this analysis of why GMs make the moves that they do. It's because they have to win now. And so they put all future considerations off so that they can keep their job. And that's what GMs do now. And if they're going to shove all in, I don't really have a problem with it, especially if they go out and do it. Like, I mean, you just got to get that W.
Well, I think it depends, right? Because you talk about owner, like Jerry Jones, I'm pretty sure would like probably do some terrible things to get a Super Bowl ring. Right? That man wants
He's
to
done
win.
some terrible
Like
things.
he wants to win another one. He has talked ad nauseum about how much he wants to win another one. I think there's this perception of what all in looks like, because you look at the Rams, they went all in an incredibly risky move in which they didn't win a single game in the month of November that year that they won the Super Bowl. And then they wind up getting it. They have a schedule. The 49ers come to them. They wind up getting there. They play the Bengals. And I don't want to say it was like an easier year than most, but for the Rams to do what they did, that was the year to do it. Now, we see other teams attempt to do the same and fail miserably.
Yes.
I mean, talk about Philadelphia Dream Team. Like, let's talk about the Packers going all in. And guess what? They still didn't get it done.
New York
right?
Jets.
And they drafted Jordan Love and got a lot of crap, from me included. So, like, why would you draft a quarterback? Now that doesn't look like the worst decision. But there are those who will still stand out there going, if we drafted somebody else, maybe we could have won the Super Bowl that year. So there's that element. You look at the Dolphins. If the Dolphins don't walk away with a Super Bowl win these next like 2 to 3 years, they have gone all in. They went in for Tyreek Hill. They drafted Jalen Waddle. They went and got Mike McDaniel. So I think it just depends.
Bills too.
Because, yeah, the Buccaneers are another team, but they built their roster through the draft, had one of the best defense of the NFL, and then they drafted really well with Wirfs. Then they bring in Tom Brady and all his friends, and then they win a Super Bowl. You know, like the 49ers, and teams like the 49ers, the Packers, etc., and even the Steelers, right? They're at least able to have that level of success every year because they draft really, really well. And then they can make a splashy move for a CMC, right?
In
But,
some regards.
dude, if Brock Purdy didn't work out and they had to start Trey Lance and Trey Lance wasn't the guy, the 49ers would be getting crucified out here. So they also like got real lucky that they brought in Brock Purdy, because then that Trey Lance trade would have looked even worse than what it is.
I think Jerry Jones is a little bit burnt out on some of the trades that he's made in the past that didn't really go his way, especially when it comes to receiver. I think he's that's why we haven't seen a big splash in recent years, because he's remembering when we traded for Roy Williams.
Big splash, dude. You traded for Brandon Cooks this past offseason. That's a big trade.
That's a 5th round pick, though. So
Yeah, it wasn't for a lot.
5th round
They got him
versus
they got him for a great deal.
a 1st and a 3rd. So I think Jerry Jones is slowly realizing maybe we don't have to sell the whole farm to get things done here. So
Yeah,
I
talk
love
about all
Brandon
in. Talk about all in. What
Yep,
about the
that's what I was
Jets this
talking
year?
about. The Jets.
Look at the Jets. They went.
Yeah.
They became Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, and again, they can never predict that, but now they're stuck in a position where they're gonna have a top 10 pick. Do you go get a quarterback, or do you continue to go all in?
I think they're going to go all in because I
I think
think
they're
like
gonna
Aaron
go all
Rodgers is
They're
going
going
to
to
come
keep
back.
doubling down. Yeah, of course.
I
Got
think
it.
the
And
problem is like Salah and Joe Douglas might be scapegoated for this failure, but at the same time, like that's the price you pay for going for Aaron Rodgers and his buddies.
If they don't win a Super Bowl within the next 2 years, like these
done.
next 2 seasons, oh boy, it's going to be bad. Like, it's going to be bad. They can get to a Super Bowl, like, that would help. That alleviate some of it. But if the Jets don't, Like they get bounced in the playoff, it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, I mean, remember they did that too when they had Mark Sanchez. Like they made some really bold moves too, and they almost got there.
And breaking news out of the New York Jets: Aaron Rodgers not coming back this year.
Oh,
Shock.
shut it down!
What a
Why?
shock.
Yeah,
What a
you guys
shock,
gonna
I
risk?
say.
Yeah, you're gonna just risk him tearing the other Achilles. So
But let's get some score predictions for this Saints Rams game. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong on last Thursday's.
I think we all were.
we were all wrong. The only right person was I said it would go over. But I picked the wrong team. But boy, that was not. No one expected 90 points.
My goodness.
Okay. Yes.
Charge
I'm
fans
going-
are free though. They're free.
Yes.
I'm going 24-17 Rams.
Okay.
I like that score. It's a good score.
I think the Rams are also going to win. I will copy Scooter's answer, 24-17.
Oh, Rams
Because
31-20.
I'm too lazy to think for myself.
The problem is that the Saints offense is very iffy. They still look bad against the Panthers, and you play the Panthers and Giants, so it's not really the best of competition. I think the Rams win this one 27-13.
Nice.
And there
Can
will
we
be an
also-
uncalled pass interference where Saints fans flip shit and burn everything to the ground.
Chat,
a
leave
makeup
your score predictions in the chat so you can say you told us so. And with that, let's head to the countdown.
Let's
Thank
do
the
it.
Lord.
Yeah. You know there's rap coming now. This is the countdown. Here we go now. 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 4. I cannot wait until Joe Barry's out the door. Cause I keep on telling him to look at the score. But every single time he just says, nah, I'll ignore. And he sucks. Please go away. Please go away now. Thank you. Thank you. Please go away, Joe Barry.
I got 1698. I'm in the clear.
Lucky you.
I'm in trouble.
I'm in trouble too.
Oh,
Okay.
I think all three of us are going to be close.
Go ahead, Tree.
226.09.
Yes, thank God! 180.37. Let's go!
177. You are punished.
Dodge it. I got the muffin. I got the muffin mix. I just had to get the other stuff. I couldn't do it last weekend because of the charity fundraiser, but all
It's
right.
that damn nice 69.69. That destroyed me. I love you, but fuck you at the same time.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, what's a punishment? for
Ooh,
Tree?
Tree
Uh,
has suffered
One chip challenge.
some losses.
One
Should he
chip-
have
No,
one
don't make
chip
him do.
challenge?
See, I would want you to do this, but I wouldn't make you do this. It would be to buy a George Pickens jersey and just like go out in public and refuse to hold the door open for people and be like, sorry, I'm just protecting myself. Like that. See, that is just great, but I wouldn't make you do that because of pain in the ass.
That sounds like it'd be an interesting skit, but I would.
I think
Like,
it would
no.
be hilarious
Sorry.
to see
Look out
Tree
for myself.
submit a
Hey, let's go.
a tryout tape to be the quarterback of the Steelers and like have him film himself like actually because Tree, you're not exactly the most athletic.
You're just
specimen.
doing that to laugh at me. Fuck.
I'm just saying, like
Hey,
I would
he's
love to
looking better.
see you.
Tree
I'm just
looking
saying.
great.
Yeah,
Looking
I mean,
great,
you
Tree.
look
Hey.
amazing, but I've never
My
seen you throw
athletically, no.
football. I've never
Oh
seen you
God,
throw
no.
football.
My shoulders iffy, so there's no way.
Come on, dude.
Hey, but look,
at least-
I got Trump hands. I have small
Go through the-
fingers.
go through the
if you
company.
think Pickett has
It's
tiny
not
mittens,
pretty
I got
Pickett.
tiny ones right here.
or either that or go outside of Heinz. Well, what's it called? Paycourt or
Show up to the Christmas
Acrisure.
party in a
Acrisure.
Browns jersey.
and just wear a sandwich board that just says "We'll play quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers."
God.
I don't have a Browns jersey. I can't.
Yeah, it's true. It's too soon.
You can
It's too
order
soon.
one. You just want.
It won't be here in time.
It won't be airtime.
Tree
It's
needs
just
to get
party season.
punished.
Chat, help us out on this punishment. How
I'll
should
be
we
fine with no
punish-
punishment. That's all I'm
punish
saying.
Tree?
You should have to urinate on a Steelers jersey. Who said that? That is
That actually sounds terrible.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Get a comeback Canada shirt.
He's got to get a Matt Canada Steelers jersey. Like how you can customize those ones, and you just get Canada put
No,
on the
I
back.
got it.
No.
I got it.
Talk to us.
Tree, if the Steelers, you know what? Even if they win, it's even better if they win. recreate the Skip Bayless like video of him like walking up to his garbage can, just opening it with a Dak Prescott and just throwing a jersey or a terrible towel into it and just storming off Skip Bayless style. I think that's pretty
could do
solid.
that.
Okay.
I
I think we agree.
Use
Yeah.
that throughout more episodes.
Yes. Okay. That's clip
What
worthy.
do you guys
Let's do it.
have coming out on your channels?
Ooh, I have a retrospective on young athletes. Where are they now? You guys remember Tamir Goodman? Do you remember Monet Davis? Do you remember she was a pitcher? Remember Allison Stokey? Yeah, a bunch of athletes that were young and they were hyped, like Baby Gronk. What's Baby Gronk up to? You know, it's a little where are they now type thing. That's coming out.
No, I didn't, Jared, because power rankings are dumb. I said as I do them, and I remind people every week. No,
That's fair.
Tom.
Tom, what do you got coming out? You're streaming the game tonight.
Yep, I'll be streaming the game tonight. Packers path to the playoffs is a video I'm going to record after this game tonight because this has playoff implications for the Packers. Q&A I'll be streaming on Saturday night, and 3 games on Christmas Eve and a game on Christmas night too.
My God.
Yeah.
Tree, what you got coming out?
State of the Tree coming out either tonight or tomorrow, so nothing crazy. Just a year retrospective.
That's fair. NFC East meeting week 15 just dropped. Go check that out. We'll have a dancing video this Sunday after we beat the Dolphins. Stop playing. This is our year, and this has been another episode of Clickbait Sports.
Well, at least it's not the Steelers.
See you next week. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy
Merry Christmas. We go
We
Super
love
Bowl.
you. We appreciate you.
Buy tickets
Hopefully-
on SeatGeek.